Hey everybody, what's going on? Matt Pinfield backstage in the 33star.com Artist Lounge tent, and they've got some great clothes, great gear. Go online, it's 33star.com. They hooked me up and my daughter with some killer shirts today. They got some really great gear. But most importantly right now, I am hanging out with Sean, Dale, and John Seether are with me. Guys, what's going on?
How you doing?
I just cannot believe it. I was saying this earlier, you know, for all the times I played you guys on the radio and I've been your fan for like since day one, I can't believe we never hung out. I mean, like all those years playing you on K-Rock, playing you on TV, playing your videos, playing your music, and I'm like, what? I don't know, somehow, were we never in the same town? Probably, I probably was at a festival and watching you or saw you play. But we never got introduced, but it's great to finally meet you guys.
Yeah, man, good to hear, man.
You guys tell me about South Africa, the town that you guys came from. Starts with a P, right? It's a P.
Pretoria.
Pretoria, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like there? So give people an idea, because, you know, obviously, American people love your music, and this, of course, goes worldwide because it streams. But tell me about what that was like there growing up as kids, and what was your introduction to rock and roll there? What was it?
Yeah, you know, I think it wasn't that different as, you know, growing up in a suburb here as a kid. I think the main difference, though, would be that we didn't have the depth of music that, you know, kids have here. They do now, but, you know, when we were kids, it was still, because of the apartheid and all that, there were still sanctions, you know, bands didn't really come play much. You know, there's certain bands that didn't, you know, get imported into South Africa and all that, so a lot of it was like word of mouth, you know, people would go.
So was radio more pop oriented then? So you guys had to hear rock, was there rock stations too, Sean?
I think it's still more pop oriented.
Yeah, and the rest of the world is too now on radio, but
yeah,
obviously we're out here, we're still rocking in the trenches because we love rock and roll and do what we do, but so I mean, was it like that? So was it more like you knew friends, guys in school you're growing up with, and they're like, hey, I got this great band, and they played it for each other, and what was it like?
Yeah, it was like, you know, some kids' parents would go overseas for a vacation and come back and bring a bunch of CDs, and that's how we'd hear new rock music, basically, because of the sanctions we had against us, and we didn't really, again, there wasn't really much of a format for rock music at radio, except for nighttime. There was a DJ that would play nighttime rock stuff.
That's cool.
Other than that, man, it was pretty much just trial and error and figure it out for yourself and word of mouth stuff. So,
well, obviously you listen to a lot of great music. What was one of the first bands you fell in love with? Made you want to write songs, made you want to play? Let's start with Sean.
For me, it was definitely Nirvana.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 12 years old when I heard Nevermind, and pretty much never looked back, man.
Life-changing record, guys.
Well, I liked it because my parents hated it.
Yeah.
And
don't we all? But it's like they don't like it. It's got to be good.
Yeah,
it's got to be good.
And it made me want to play loud guitars and make loud noises and scream a bit. So, you know, I think much to my parents' disdain at the time, I started playing in bands and stuff, and they weren't very happy about that.
Yeah. Hey, but it worked out for you. Now they're proud of you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Of course, Sean.
They've become fans now.
Absolutely. What about yourself? First band that really went to your heart.
I think for
me, your brain made you want to play.
I think for me it was probably Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, great.
I think just seeing Slash with his hat and cigarette hair and the Les Paul by his knees, he just looks so cool, you know. And I love the songs, you know. It's like I don't know, that made me want to play. I think also because girls at school liked it, made it like, oh, maybe I should play those songs.
Stuff, you know what I mean? So, I totally get that. John, how about yourself? What were you into?
Man, for me, here we go, guys. I'm a big Kiss fan. Kiss was the first concert I ever saw when I was 12.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, you know, makeup, whole deal, blowing it up. The drummer had drums that, you know, wrapped around him. Yeah, Kiss is like, was my thing as a kid growing up.
You know, it's amazing because, you know, I vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to put governors of the Grammys too, but I love Kiss, and I remember it's just going to be in my book that's coming out. But my story is how Alex Coletti, who produced all the MTV Unplugged, walks in my office and goes, "Hey man, your music department doesn't want to do a Kiss Unplugged." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "Would you talk to them?" So we walk down the hallway, walk into my boss's office. I'm like, "What do you mean nobody wants a Kiss Unplugged?" And she goes, "I don't know, do people care?" I'm like, "They care." I go, "Every album goes gold. So just think of it as 500,000 viewers." You know what I mean? On the first view. So I was there that day in rehearsals when Peter and Ace came up from the top of the thing and yelled out, "Hey, you motherfuckers," to like Gene and Paul. And I was there for the rehearsals. I was there for the show, and eventually, Gene and Paul took me and Alex Coletti out to lunch on 44th Street in the city of Carmine to thank us for making it happen. Then I ended up.
That was awesome.
It was so great. And then I ended up narrating that second coming.
Yeah,
you know that's
I
my
got that.
yeah, that's my voice all through it. I narrated that for them. But the best part of that was I'm in LA. And you'll appreciate this. And I didn't. Not all the lines linked up yet. So I go over to Kiss headquarters. Tommy Thayer picks me up. Before he was in the band, he was still the original members again. Now he's playing guitar for them. But he was always their day-to-day guy. Tommy's a great guy. He brought me. It brought me over to cut those the 7 or 8 lines that didn't match up sync with the recording. And then Gene took me out to lunch. So we're driving back in the Lincoln Navigator that Paul bought him. We get to the rehearsals. Peter and Ace are sitting in the parking lot and they go, "Hey, where the motherfucker have you been?" He goes, "Hey, I was taking Matt out to lunch." So we go in there. Paul never shows up. Gene puts me in his Kiss boots. I swear to God. The guy shows up with the boots from Love Gun. Those are the ones they use for Psycho Circus. And I'm a short dude. I almost broke my ankle. And he goes, "Wait, imagine walking around in those for 2.5 hours a night." But the best part of it, are you ready for why that was a very important day for me as a Kiss fan and a rock fan? I'm looking at, he showed me his new bass, his new amp. I walk around, and it's a rehearsal place. It's out of Cole's, not Swing House, but Cole's. You know Cole's.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny because they weren't there that day, and they're my buddies because it was the Rage and Cornell. Because I worked for Soundgarden, Rage. They were Citizen before they were Audio Slave, and they were using the room, the big room. Kiss were in a small room, but they weren't there that day. So I'm there, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I go to Gene, "Oh man, I love these songs. This set list is great, all the classics." He goes, "You like them?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, when I was in a band at 14, 15, I go, I did all this shit." He goes, "You want to have a go?" So I sat there and I sang lead with Gene, Peter, and Ace on Rock Bottom, 100,000 Years, and Do You Love Me? Dude, I couldn't sleep that night.
I bet.
I was so pumped up.
Takes you back to being a kid.
It was like being a kid with the headphones on, you know? And it was
awesome.
But anyway, so
Tell me what the
anybody says
makeup.
about Gene or anybody, I love those guys. They made a childhood dream come true. It was a great time for me.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So that's so cool, isn't it, man? So what's going on? Is the album going to be called Isolate and Medicate? All right, when is that going to come out, guys? What's up?
I believe it's coming out July 1st.
All right, so it's completely done then, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's an incredible title, and for people that have been through their own the struggles I've been through, I mean, a lot of people I know have been through. We've all had our moments, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can relate to what that means. Tell me a bit about that track. Does the album with that title? Is there a theme, a thread through the record about some of the self-destructive things
No,
going on in life?
I don't think there's a thread to it. I think it's just it just sort of summed up the process of the entire the songwriting thing and where I was at that point in my life. So it just seemed to make sense as far as like. Usually what we do is halfway through an album, you know, when you start recording the album, the name comes up and you try and have it incorporate whatever the album, whatever really sort of sums up the process of the album. You know what I mean? So it's you try and be a little bit subtle and a little poetic, but
it's not subtle, but it's also I think a lot of people can relate to it, and because of the things that a lot of us have been through, been there and back, still alive. So we lost a lot of friends. You know how life goes. It's something that people are going to see and go, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
You know what? I know what that's about. I've been there. Or I had somebody I love who's been there. You know what I'm trying to sell.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think that it is pretty universal.
It really is, yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
You know, it's like that 2 degrees of separation. You've either been through it yourself or you know someone.
Yeah.
Or you're close to someone who's been through that kind of stuff, which is cool, you know?
Yeah.
So guys, talk to me about, you talked about Kiss. First, I'm gonna ask you this. First festival you ever went to and the favorite one you ever played. All right, so the first festival. Start with you, Sean.
Oh man, I think the first festival I went to was in South Africa. It was in 1990, was it 2000? 2001? Which Smashing Pumpkins?
Probably 01.
I think it was 2001 was my first proper festival.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins, The Cult.
Billy Corgan was eating
James.
Can't
a
go wrong with
burger on
that.
stage.
Yeah.
You know what?
Billy Corgan was eating a burger on stage between songs. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't really care. That was right before they broke up. It was a great. I mean, it was a good show that they played. I remember being in there, like, you know, the Golden Circle, seeing these guys playing that I'd been listening to for years, and It was awesome, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a great bill. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Love those guys. What about yourself?
My first one, I went to one as a kid. It was mostly like South African artists. Johnny
Who's on it?
Johnny Clegg.
Johnny Clegg, I know well.
Yeah, big
of
fan of
course.
his. I want to say like
Luca,
Mango
all that
Groove
stuff.
might have been on it.
What's
like
that?
a band called Mango Groove that was big in the
Yeah.
80s,
Yeah.
90s.
I was in love with that singer.
Yeah, she was hot, man.
Yeah.
Back in her day. But it was mainly just, South African bands. I want to say it was a Coca-Cola thing, but it was just local bands. And I think on that one, I think that's Spin Doctors as well. Spin Doctors.
That's cool. Now, you mentioned Kiss, but I want to ask you, favorite festival you guys ever played? We'll start with John. Go down there.
Man, we played some shows, some festivals back in South Africa with Metallica in 2006, and it was pretty surreal playing with them.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. James and Lars would be on the side of the stage, like watching us play. They were
You're
very,
like,
very
"Man,
cordial. They were
I grew
awesome
up
and
loving
surreal.
brothers."
Yeah.
You know,
That's fantastic. That's really
it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
They were
How
great
about
guys.
yourself, Dale? Same?
Probably the same one. I've never been that nervous in my life. I mean, there are a lot of people, but it didn't even matter. Just those two sitting on the side of the stage.
Hey,
It was
you know,
like,
they're masters.
you so desperately want to be cool in front of those guys.
Metallica guys, man. Road Warriors, great stuff, man. Love them to death. What about yourself?
I can't beat that one either, man. It's like I think as far as highlights of festivals, those were like 60,000 people. You know?
I mean, speaking of singing with bands, one of my other favorite moments that exists on YouTube from an old MTV show I did is me and Kirk and James. Kirk's playing guitar. I'm on a tour bus with him. We're going to Philadelphia from New York. And me and James are switching off verses and lines from Thin Lizzy's Cowboy song with Kirk playing guitar.
Oh, nice.
And that was a badass time. Something else I love. It was another great moment. You know what I mean? And I think about those like pinch me moments, when you're brothers and you're singing songs you loved growing up.
Yeah.
Genius stuff. Great moments, man. Guys, we're excited about Isolate and Medicaid. I can't wait to hear the new record. Like I said, I've been a fan since Disclaimer. Like I said, Fine Again was on my workout back, when it was before I plugged my iPod on a treadmill in the gyms in New York City. Then you made CDs and you stuck them in. So I would make a mix. When I worked at K-Rock, it was one of my favorite songs, and Fine Again was always on there. Love it. Guys, great meeting you all. It was very cool. Thanks for coming by. FanFest.tv. Great to meet you, Sean.
Thanks, man.
Great to meet you, Dale. And good to meet you, John. Seether, guys. Right here. Welcome to Rockville 2004. God, see, that's why it's live. Why it's great. I lost my voice for a minute. I lost my voice. No. Welcome to Rockville 2014. Matt Pinfield, FanFest.tv. Seether.